Yema Penche, then pen to be Nobuyanda Yama, that's Chukum.
Comes the young Jason and Jason.
La
Young Jason and Jason.
I've been a chosen the Sendley intimate Goya Yamari, kids and the Royal Taki and say Chogi. Yenayo Chugi to and send the Duma. Only in got a pen to book me.
So
That here we go, let's see what's my penche. Sure, remember, yeah, pen to Taki Yama, pen to Nobu Yama.
So, engaging with Dharma in this lifetime, there is benefit for oneself and others, but there are also other factors that we can get benefit without engaging with Dharma practice. However, when we die, at that time, and after that, the one which will benefit us is Dharma or spiritual practice.
Gambo Pomi, dog and in Jipandana Matane, Metal said the chet out to Diva Mombanya to Gambo Sasonja Pune, Bomb Meba Sana. They sit on Pohayes, gave a group deeper, some soon Zazap Chia, Pohayes, Londole Zazap Mijipa, Pomese, Bomb may be on key. Only dog in it. Let Deepasana, Tin Rebu, Jeepasana, Nyari doing and then told you ever Masarte, my hip share. Without sending Chetato, Tanda Chunchu, a yarimbo, there you measure, there you make a matapa yankee, send the Chetu, look Chunchu, Diva Momponia Dropa shares and Yapa shares.
And the root text begins from calling for a protector, which refers to Buddha. Due to the lack of awareness or lack of conscientiousness, meaning engaging with unwholesome actions without any awareness, and due to that cause, then we experience the result, the fear which refers to the result, such as hell being experiences. So. In other words, due to our lack of conscientiousness, we are not able to realize the result such hell being experiences, and for this life which is impermanence, we engage or we accumulate many unwholesome actions. In other words, the essential point is to experience remorse about engaging with unwholesome actions and the fear of the experience of the result helping.
Sunja Sumbari, Tatana, Poya Shiguris, Poya Majana, Jiman Japachi cooking chores.
So, and Buddha also mentioned that we need to be very, very conscious or being aware at this moment. Otherwise, in future, we will experience great remorse.
Hidu, Shikal Lebdu, Danga Shermadu, Chumaja, Chutosamaja, Chumajana Sheba, some Yeba Chambu.
So when we don't engage with the Dharma or spiritual practice, then during our death time, dying, the final stage of death, will experience great remorse. So, and then we will realize the meaningless of all the activities that we engage throughout our life at that time. So at that time, we also experience anger or hatred. So, for example, if individual is taken to the place where someone is punished, and punished where someone's arms will be disengaged or cut. At that time, then that person experiences great anxiety, and due to the anxiety and the fear, it affects their physiological components, such as having a dry mouth, and also the appearance of one's eyes will look like a very, very kind of panic-striking eyes, and then it changes our regular facial expression into very, very anxious situation.
Lava cheba de me lava cheba tori dunga re. Tori dunga dunga song dunga in the mandawa kira chambore. Tori dunga tele tele ke guna tanga song dunga le tele ke chegre sikhe.
So the point here about cutting one's arm, is related to this current life suffering. So if we have that much anxiety and fear of being cut our arms, then it is needless to say that the next life's suffering is much, much greater.
Hindi ponya soni kikale, hindi jarbu ponya, hianong tabo ya reche bane. Nji batabu hiasukje, hiasusana soda. Hianong tabo soda yanke te namji zuwa churche. Njiba chenbu ne, tori ne mahiba, njiba chenbu sana, nyarwa ke dunga ne tabo te tebal churbana, rato te, tori do mandawa hindu ne chong, nyam taba san chobo hitana, chobo nyam taba jibano hitana, mugu bahi, he mugu bahi.
So, okay. And then the messengers of the Lord of the Dead appears to be very, very fearful, and when individual is held by the messenger, such messenger, then the individual will be stricken by the great suffering, meaning the experience of hell-being experiences, and then one becomes. There is no need, needless to say, that one becomes very, very overwhelmed by that experience.
Suhin Jijin de la labor job as injury. Take a tempe meet and show you Shabda Torsi. Yamala Lebdus. Then he cannot have Numbaka like how which you left name. He cannot have a mumbo yesterday. They got the Suki Nipa Chambon dele, Kangan Chambon dele dot. Labor shop at Chevan, Suki Kangan dele chop to some. Take our time, take us and Heba, drop meat, drop it, non jerky, Hanon non jerky meat, dread, show yellow. Then a chap out for it, chap, Yamit for it,
when we experience the hell-being realm, and hell-being realm is very, very fearful environment, and because of that, at that time we'll be wondering who will be protecting us, and also due to the such negative environment, we'll have experience of panic striking eyes, and then we'll be trying to seek for refuge or protection towards the four directions.
Shugi Danish Zarguduta, Shugi Jame Tonan, and then I can do Yimunjur. Net, there is Jabe Mayina, Tessa Dog Jetarsa, Shugi Zardu, Jap Soon, ever tone, then I can do Yimu, Hindu Yimu, Hindus, Sambacho, Jova, Samuel Reason. Net, and answer, Nelson, Net, and Jabe Yava Mayina, Nelson to Jet about the Itze. Doggy Chetasha, they do Tabi and Yomalis, Tabi Yom.
So while we seek refuge towards the four direction, and we were not able to find any protections and refuge, and due to that, we'll experience a very extreme emotional experience, such as depression, very, very strong depression. And when we take rebirth within the downfall realm, at that time there is no protection or refuge. And then when we take rebirth at the downfall realms, at that time, then we cannot do. We'll become helpless, and there is no other methods to free from such sufferings.
Deepa Shava top year, then a danger tops and jam road or some shit to such impari. Then a danger top here.
So there are four powers in order to purify our unwholesome deeds, and at this time it explains the second power of object, which refers to taking refuge and cultivating altruistic mind.
Teve Javan Rowing and Roa Jopitan Samba, Topchin Jiba Kansala, Terini in Jobsuche. Teve Sedu, Nelson to Shetadu, Jamnem Motopa Teve Nas, Jamnem Motop, Diba Karaba, Sheji, Malaysia. Cheza Tatane Kabachi, Cheza Trini in a Jobsuche, so wanted to then Nelson to Jamduchi Motopa Teve Na. Tata, three in a jump to Chiki. They Yarwa Sana Sonje Yarwa Sajit Ore Sonje Candesan and Rowing Gambo. Rowing Gambo Segoya Karis and Jumsen Sumi Ores. Rowan of Dunhales Chopitan and Betan of Yores. Chiche. Then Nuba Chambo Yori. Top Chambo. Nishe. Then Sosu par Lote Sena, Jiba can serve to your several segiores, the sum, and then sumias and rowing gambos on Jetella, Nimatrine, Jobs Rowings.
So, since we are not able to find any refuge or protection while we are at the downfall realms, we need to take refuge right this moment. And the object of taking refuge is Victoria one, refers to Buddha. Buddha, which has three characteristics. The first characteristic is Buddha has intention, not only intention, but also engage to put effort in order to eliminate sufferings of others. Second characteristic is that Buddha also has a capability, great capability, ability to overcome the suffering. And third characteristic is that once we rely on such qualities, then Buddha is also able to protect from that suffering. So therefore, the present time, right this moment, is the best time to take refuge.
Yalva Singade Tanzanian the Vesari Nyamu Jale Jarvana Jarva. Then he entanged Karva Tokyo Toyin, so he entanged Karva Legend Jarva. Java said,
so the explanation of Victoria. Victoria refers to Buddha. Victoria has two meanings. The first one is victory from the defilements, negative defilement or afflicted emotions. And the second second Victoria is Victoria of achieving all the positive qualities. So therefore, Buddha is called victorious one.
Then I chose Genju, they two chu chu Korinjiba Sarvatum. Then again I didn't Shonjusam, so I won't take in the Jasu. Sonje, they two chuba, Kongi Tembi, Chusana, Goden Sana, Nelu, Chetom Chiti, Nelu, Tomato Trava, Gobitemba, Tedons, Korinjiba Sarvas, Korinjiba. So you tell Mumate, Nyamamata, Churulam Jetemba Yinza, Kori, Jitradon, Tiju Nyamaba Konga, Sorship, Lam Jetemba, then on the Japson Rogi, then you choose Nyamsun and Kanki Shonjusemi, so the Ganela, Sonjela, Jamrusha, but they Hindu, you want to have the Japson Rogi.
So now this following verse is taking refuge to the Dharma. Dharma which Dharma of realizing what is being, or the realizations of the Buddha, and here Dharma refers to the state of cessation, meaning realization of ultimate truth, free from all the afflictive emotions, and then expelling the fears of samsara, meaning the second dharma, which is the truth of path. So the first one is the truth of nirvana, or cessation, state of cessation of suffering, and the second one is the path of truth, and then also taking refuge to the bodhisattvas, or assembly of bodhisattva, or sangha of bodhisattvas, same as how we take refuge to the Buddha.
Choje saben sombare tori migi nasaton nyansong dunga ni ndamares migi nasa de nasa shungne tene mencho she chogyo shun sabijel tori nyansong nasa de nasa maju ngane jugu remember ngoma dunga shun sadu tene jodavya mares.
And Sakya Pandita also mentioned, make comment related to this stanza, that our present lifetime diseases can be treated by medications, but once we take rebirth in downfall or downfall realms, at that time, then we cannot change that sickness, or we cannot make change during that time, like we change our present sickness. So the sickness of downfall realm is much greater than the sickness of this current lifetime.
Tere jamdo nyone chedu kone hebi zita sundan she dan do train da nyawang chetsadu jamne thogmare cheza tata ne jamdo shegu yes teso zita so hunchar yona yon to job shes so no don tene jamdo chena shegu yeser.
So when we recite the refuge prayers, we will be reflecting on these verses and these meanings, that once we take rebirth in downfall realms, then we may not able to find a protection, and so this is at this current time is the best time to protect ourselves, engaging with refuge practices and wholesome deeds.
Norjoba kahele chiwa mataba kedu nyero chegundu sanantim. Tene ngala jiga lava yanji jiga hiju tenji amare samba majiba shekores.
Some Westerners has informed to Khenchen Appey that Westerners do not have an interest to reflect on the death and dying, and if someone reflects on the subject of death and dying, then one feels depressed and feels unhappy.
Ndoji musumbare pena chuhyadon lama sabanda var chuhyadon hisa chi mambo sunti de none korwi nyemi da khegu de nyenye mroke chiwa meta ba do korwi nyemi cha nyenye marona tene sonje don chonchu sembi yan da ngo thar tam deso
One of the sutras also explain the mode of giving teaching, and it mentioned that if individual is not able to connect with the teachings of the nature of samsara, the suffering, samsara, nature of samsara being suffering, and the death and dying or impermanence, then those individuals need to be taught the qualities of Buddha. So therefore, when someone presents teaching, it is important to give the teaching according to the students or recipients' understanding level and their aspirations, stages of their understanding and interest. And it is not effective to forcefully to present certain teachings to individuals who do not have any connections with that topic. So, once you reach a certain level of your Dharma practice, then it is indispensable Dharma practice that one must reflect on the impermanence and death and dying.
So, do another military program, Pena, Zuboyina, Duataso, back on Hubchiki. Comban over the Yawata, so shilted, Duataso, no oligo, Mutonsa cigarette, should you the bed where you are.
So, in our daily life or normal life, we try to hide all our unpleasant things. Either it could be a physical appearance or some other unpleasant things. But we are not able to, or we cannot hide our experience of death and dying, or the death itself. So we cannot hide the death experience. So when we encounter an enemy or attacker, we cannot close our eyes, but we have to confront that enemy.
Chiwa gam do tene take thing in the Tavolo Chiwa train day. They shuna, then choose about the college and Maris.
And one of the Tibetan teacher mentioned like this: once individual or practitioners reflect on the impermanence and death and dying again, and one gets familiar with that concept, and one actually cultivates meditative experience. And once individual reach that level, then there is no hardships to engage with Dharma practice, and then all the Dharma practice becomes your second nature.
They tried to pen children, then be like another she and they should do. Tadon Tato or the shame, then they hit you in some good. Penangama Karagam Johnson and Shuan, Chiwagam may or who they use a trouble with Sabu without a king, Jay or no couple child. King the Jay go with time on Bogumba, Yanada Jangu. The Kaduki then they may set you devilish, judge my joy.
So there is a great meditator who practices about death and dying and impermanence, and in front of this meditator's retreat place there is a tree standing there, and he had this desire to cut that tree, and but then whenever he sees that, whenever he has thought to cut the tree, then he was able to reflect on the impermanence and death and dying. While we do practice, there are three essential points. The first one is that death is sudden, imminent. The second is that the time of death is uncertain, that death may occur any moment. And the third point is that during the dying time, or at the deathbed, then the Dharma or our spiritual practice is the most beneficial one. So reflecting on these three essentials in our daily life will be very beneficial for our Dharma practice. So now we are taking refuge to great bodhisattvas, and the first one is offering our body to Bodhisattva Samantabhadra. Due to our anxiety or fear, which also refers to the fear of taking rebirth in the hell realms. And it also says that taking refuge effectively means without having any doubts or disrespects, but from our bottom of our heart, very genuine process, take refuge.
Dāngi jisana yengi ke kuru wantana mayimba dāngi rontok buya dāga lunde uwara jis.
Also, we offer our body by ourselves without any influence from others. We offer our body to Bodhisattva Manjushri.
Tuji jeva manchuwa shenre zingan tela nyantha ngaro dambe tuji sheva sana niji sheva sadu yenan bayi shepate yenan shepate te ronda kichama lebuna te sheva truware shenre zile tele ronda sheva truwaya male zumbara tena niji sheva manchuwa ngavi shenre zingan tela yung nyam tabi ngaro nyam ta sana yenon chobo Jobu Naru Sana Ketach get or them best on a catch and put them the Pupa in the Dine dollar, car Pugiasana, Dipachin dollar, chap to source.
So now we are making supplication to Bodhisattva Avalokiteshvara, So we're making supplication into sorry, I'll go from the beginning. Making offerings to Bodhisattva, our Lokiteshvara, who has infallible qualities of great compassion. What it means is that that Charisik or our Lokiteshvara has compassion that is purely focused on the altruistic or beneficial to others. So the mode of making supplication is that one feels a great emotion and also requesting to the Charisik in order to protect from the sufferings.
Yang Papa Nongkin Himbotum, Sai Himbotadon, Donna Tuje Chambo Gambo, Tamjala, Tuje Chambo Gambo Sadu, Samchen Dung Harve, Sonju Samaroni Dung Harvi, Dung Hana, then Tuje Chambo Yen Dung Harve, Dung Harvi, Tuje Chambo Gambo Tamjala, Sam Sora. Sambe ni tobane hodembe yes.
Similarly, we also take refuge to Bodhisattva Akasha Garbha and also Kashita Garbha and other great bodhisattvas or great protectors who has a great compassion, and the mode of taking refuge is from the bottom of our heart and reciting these refuge prayers to them. Some sharing. So we'll end it here today.
Yinla Dembi None, Cheba Santa, Sumba, Shaba Chipika, Shaba Dele, Top Gear None, Tada Nimba, Danger Top.
Within these 7 names, so far we have finished making offering, performing prostration, and also at this time it is confession time, and it has 4 powers, and at this point we are studying the second power, which is power of object, taking refuge to Buddhas and Bodhisattvas.
Ponyala so don Donna Shuirin Jershiva Dorji Jama Jasus Kongi Shana Doji Kongi Tona Shana Kongi Toma Machana Chadoma Joji Hinji Ponya Hinji Jalboke Ponya Legit Namto La Suvasana Shetongi symbol nezin la soba senjin neze kona sigri te nam long la long senjin tomjel long de neze jingen te nam zhao ne shu yile yersana zhu tao rin lu zhu orche ba dorje jen se du dorje yanken te da bu senjin neze jingen te nam he guya he sa dorje namken de la jiaozu qisong.
The messengers or retinue of dead of Lord, and also evil spirits who are very harmful to all sentient beings, and these beings who will be dispersed or expelled by the Vajra holder, which means Vajrapani. So one is taking refuge to Vajrapani, who has the power to expel all the harmers of sentient being.
Ningche chi kalende tenya penche chi ji sala songje ro chong chu samba don ge he ni nang ge dipa ma ji zu mi kalende ne dipa so de fa yin cha.
So in the past I have transgressed all the advices and words given by Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and one's teacher. In other words, Buddhas and Bodhisattva teachers have given instructions or advices, and we have transgressed those advices.
Tāne jīpa chetōng, tāne sana tātā dīpa ki rēbu nyārāwa ki jītō chenpo yuwa tōng nē tā chē li jāb su chē ki yin chē zā jītō dēnō nyārāwa lā su ki jīpa tēnō nyūr tū sār tū sōr sāru jī sa hiu yin.
So, but now having seen the great anxiety and fear, which refers to the cause of the suffering, unwholesome deed, and its results, hell experiences, and taking refuge to Buddha and Bodhisattvas, and also making supplication to expel swiftly from the fears, cause and results of suffering.
Jamro te tenji top seru jamro koron diba kyobi top giga nome tenji top yin sumba jaza tenji top tala yung yanda nome jamro tong samshi ni ye sum yorda jamro tong samshi kwen kheru jamro diba thagre sum samshi kyu diba thagi sum yore te tenji top yin pi chum sen yin bar.
The reason why it is called power of object is because when we take refuge to the object of refuge and also cultivating altruistic mind, it brings the benefit to purify our unwholesome deeds. Therefore, it is called power of object.
Nyambu tori, nyambu kandu chepto sangante diba ju nyamu bato shawa diba nika ki nyambu so.
The third power, the power antidote, the definition of power antidote means antidote which dispels not only the cause of the unwholesome deed, which is affect emotion, but also eliminates the unwholesome deed itself, affecting emotion itself.
So deep you nyamo pataso nyambo tenguba pe go na heba pe ni ke bana tombo neji pe go na ke.
So the antidote to reduce or eliminate the causes of unwholesome deed, the afflicted emotion, has two examples. The antidote to expel the afflicted emotion has two examples. The first one is the example of ordinary illness.
Tama neji jina yo membi ngin shaguna. Da shala su ni jaye neji tota mochigo. Tama pinesna tu janji den top net. Bena chipala so potesori. De ji sana. Nasa charu mechi nasa durundo de hiwala so ba. Tene chumpi ji rock jina yo member kele kandina. Member taking my Hindu. Then some on Shalom Chedon to Shigua Yanas pitch.
For example, within our daily life, we have our normal ordinary illnesses. Due to the normal illnesses, it causes great anxiety. Anxiety in this context means concern about not finding the treatment or not healing properly, and also fear of dying due to the illness. So whenever we have this ordinary illness, if we need to rely on the ordinary healer, or ordinary healers' advices and treatment.
Then there's a lot of water. Nyamon pination, there's a lot of pee. Nearby Jan Rock and Hedge, said you. Tama Pinette, Mombo Yorete, Telanyamon Pinet, Tronga Mongias, Jan Rock, Hedge, but Nyamon Pinet, Mombo. Tama Pinette, some member Nagamari, Nyamon Pinette, do thought of Tavala. Then a member got the good but mushroom chickens.
So now the meaning of that example is attachment, etc. Due to many disadvantages of afflicted emotions such as attachment. Such as attachment, which not only impact us, but also constantly impact our life. Therefore, what is to speak of, or therefore there is needless to say that the illness of our inner afflicted emotion is much greater than the ordinary illness.
Pedon tank net but the Nepachon career sana, Techi Kijon sana, Yamon be net Jigijon. There's out of Jiki. Zom Nepi Micken, the Met Tomche, Law Shiva Hinson, Yanson to Chiva Shiva Hinson, but Pena Nem Mombo Tamapin at the Mombo Casajana, but never a cheat to be others, Yamon be net Jiki. Mekonga, Laura Shitting, a song to Triple Ship.
The distinctions between the ordinary illness and the afflictive emotion illness is that ordinary illness occurs once a while, and it is an occasional illness, whereas the internal afflictive emotion illness constantly happens in our life. Furthermore, the distinction between these two is that whenever we are engaged with afflictive emotions such as attachment or desire, just by one afflictive emotion like attachment, that could destroy all living beings in this world. Destroy meaning the afflictive emotions will bring the result of downfall realm experiences, and the ordinary sickness will not bring the result of hell realm experiences, but the afflictive emotions brings the result of hell realm being experiences. The first reason was that the afflictive emotion has greater disadvantages or harmful results. The second reason is that ordinary illness. The second reason is that the afflictive emotion, the antidote for the negative emotion. There is no treatment. One cannot find any treatments, antidotes other than the Dharma teachings.
Member, Sondia the Hero Cabachimbo Conga Changre, Sumbarin Delas, Nyamon Pine, Servandela, member Tomche Chamber, Zub Sonja. Tamapi, Net Jonkin, member Teso, G. G. B. Degre, Tomche Hima, Sonja the Net Jonkin, Tomche Chamber. Sumu Tomchen Jin to Gris, Sumu Tomchesana, Sumu Sana, Sorva Kangar. Tomchesana Dunga Yi Sumji Dunga Tomche Njing de Mebase Tungende Sonja Konai Jazati Gata to Mijene Sambasana Tabi Yenji Sambasandi Hindu Dimuba Keva Noji Mebin.
The third reason is that the ordinary healer does not have all the knowledge how to heal the ordinary illness, whereas the omniscient Buddha has all the knowledge how to heal all the different sufferings, especially emotional sufferings, due to or through the means of physical, verbal, and mental actions, and all these emotional sufferings emotion sufferings are dispelled or eradicated by the omniscient healer, and therefore without implementing the teachings of Buddha and staying not engaging with the antidote is very, very ignorant, and also it is object of object of disgrace by the scholars.
Nyamumba Jambi Meng Yanda Mini Sonja Sumbi Chote Kuna Yinsa Sumbati Junse Shedon Chosung de Sonja Member Yanda Yare Tezolang Rote Pento Momogungi of the Yinayon Nyamumba Tarvale Nyamumbi Jupungu Nyamumbi Ju Danze Dancing Pung Tap the Dame to Kira member Yanda me. This Sonja may be true can get them as switch on my head in the Yamun point tap again your malaise.
The meaning that there is no other antidote, there is no other great healer than Buddha, is because other teachers teaches many different paths. These paths might have benefit, but in order to eradicate all the sufferings and causes of suffering, then one needs to eradicate the self-grasping, which is the root cause of all afflicted emotions. And the antidote to eradicate the self-grasping is the realization of selflessness, and that method is only taught by Buddha, and no other teachers explain about this ultimate antidote. So now the second example is about immense crevasse, or example of very deep cliff.
Tamar Yonsa Tamar Chumula, Poet never shagonas. Tamar Yonsa Chumusana, Re Bitoda, Combata, Kekala, Kekan, the Chumula, taking yes and rodu, Flugus, the Washana, Poet begun had never shago by in house.
So, if we have to be very, very careful and also need to be very self-conscious to very small, ordinary small clips, or such as when you go to the mountain or top of the house or any other places that you may fall, one becomes very, very careful and have conscious anxiousness not to fall down.
Tuman Mebana Tamam Tame put the Yen Rimbo. Yazon Tina, you Yazon Tana. Then Molotun Shurmon Butseco, Yen Rimbo Teco. Yen Rimbo de could be Yonsala. Khenchen Appey Rinpoche chicken. The Regiant is to do. Was a tondo. Was a tondo by yet in a song fitness of Mumbai ye. Whom they do not yan remote young could be Yonsa Chebotella, or a shake of what
So even we fall down from the ordinary cliffs, that will not cause the experience of hell realm being experience, whereas the hell realm which has immeasurable heights, and once we fall to the hell realm, then in terms of time it lasts for a long time, and also depth-wise it has very immense crevasse, and also the hell realm does not has the beginning nor the end. So therefore there is needless to say that when one needs to be very cautious and careful not to fall down to the realm of hell being.
Tata